Namaste, friends. Today, I want to share something very close to the heart, something many of us face after 60. Sometimes the people around us stop valuing us the way they used to. It could be a child, a friend, or even a colleague. And the hurt, oh, the hurt can feel unbearable. But what if I told you there are five simple tricks that can completely change this situation, not by forcing others to change, but by transforming yourself and your energy? 1. Give yourself the respect you deserve. After 60, many of us start feeling invisible. It's not uncommon for children, relatives, or friends to unintentionally overlook us. But here's a truth that often gets lost: your value doesn't depend on anyone else's acknowledgement. It begins with you. Imagine a retired teacher, Mr. Sharma, who dedicated 40 years to shaping young minds. After retirement, he felt a strange emptiness. His children were busy, friends had moved on, and even in his community, he felt unnoticed. The sadness weighed on him, making him question his worth. I once met him and suggested he spend a few minutes each day reflecting on his life. He started writing down achievements, contributions, and even the small things he had done for others, mentoring students, helping neighbors, and supporting his spouse through decades of challenges. At first, it was just a list on paper, but slowly he began to see himself differently. Every morning, he read it aloud. Gradually, he stood taller, spoke with more confidence, and smiled more freely. And something remarkable happened. When he walked into the room, people noticed him again. His children began calling him more often, friends sought his advice, and even the local community appreciated his contributions. What had changed? Not others, but him. Respect is magnetic. When you honor yourself, the world naturally mirrors that energy. Giving yourself respect is not arrogance, it's recognition of the lifetime of wisdom, love, and effort you carry. After 60, when people overlook you, remember the first and most powerful validation must come from within. Write down your achievements, cherish your experiences, and never let anyone, not even time, diminish your value. 2. Don't chase validation, live your purpose. Seeking approval from others is a habit many seniors struggle with. But chasing validation is like pouring water into a leaky bucket. No matter how much you give, it never fills. Take the example of Mrs. Patel, a woman who had spent her life caring for family, often putting herself last. After retirement, she felt invisible to her children and friends. She tried calling often, reminding people of her contributions, and even offering advice, but nothing changed. One day, she remembered her love for painting, a passion she had abandoned for decades. She picked up her brushes and started creating, not to impress anyone, but for herself. Days turned into weeks, and she discovered immense joy in colors and canvases. Her energy shifted. Friends began visiting her to see her artwork, neighbors praised her creativity, and eventually even her children began noticing her newfound happiness and respect. She hadn't begged for recognition, she had immersed herself in purpose. Friends, this is the key. After 60, life is too precious to spend seeking approval. Pursue what lights your soul, be it art, volunteering, mentoring, or gardening. When you live your purpose, recognition follows naturally. More importantly, your days are filled with fulfillment, joy, and energy that no neglect can diminish. 3. Use silence as your strength. When someone undervalues us, our instinct is often to argue or explain ourselves. But after 60, wisdom teaches a different approach. Silence can be more powerful than words. Consider Mr. IR, 65, a retired engineer whose colleagues constantly dismissed his advice in a local community forum. Initially, he tried explaining, arguing, and defending himself, but nothing changed. Then he made a conscious decision. He would stop arguing. Instead, he quietly observed, contributed through actions, and mentored younger members without seeking acknowledgement. Over time, his consistency and calm demeanor caught everyone's attention. People began respecting his advice and experience without him saying a word. Silence, combined with meaningful action, communicates strength, composure, and wisdom. It also protects your energy. After 60, every moment is precious, and reacting to every slight drains your life force. Friends, when someone undervalues you, choose silence over confrontation. Let your deeds, character, and dignity speak for themselves. In many cases, what you don't say leaves a stronger impact than everything you could. Embrace silence as a tool for empowerment, not suppression. 4. Surround yourself with positivity. Energy becomes a precious commodity after 60. It's important to invest it wisely. Wasting time on negativity or people who undervalue you leads only to frustration. Mr. Khanna, a retired engineer, experienced this. After his children moved abroad and extended family relationships grew distant, he felt neglected and invisible. Instead of dwelling on resentment, he joined a seniors mentoring group at a local community center. He started sharing his experiences, volunteering, and mentoring younger members. Slowly, he became a respected figure in the community, surrounded by people who appreciated his wisdom and presence. Positivity is contagious. When you surround yourself with joy, purpose, and gratitude, your energy radiates outward. People notice it. Friends, after 60, your happiness is a choice. Fill your life with uplifting activities, supportive friends, and meaningful connections. When you do, even those who once undervalued you can't ignore the light you shine. Positivity doesn't just change your world, it reshapes your relationships and environment. 5. Let go of what you cannot control. Finally, accept this. Some people may never appreciate you, and that's okay. Letting go is one of the most liberating lessons after 60. I remember Mrs. Desai, a grandmother whose children rarely called. Initially, she felt hurt and lonely. But instead of dwelling on disappointment, she chose to invest her energy in teaching neighborhood children to read. Within weeks, her home was filled with laughter, respect, and gratitude, not because she demanded it, but because she chose joy over resentment. Letting go does not mean giving up, it means reclaiming your peace and energy. Friends, your happiness is not dependent on others' recognition. By focusing on what you can control, your actions, your joy, your presence, you transform your life. Life after 60 is too precious to waste on bitterness. Let go, invest in yourself, and watch your world change. Closing, embrace your value and joy after 60. Friends, after 60, life enters a unique and beautiful chapter. It's a time when we hold decades of wisdom, love, and experience treasures that no one can take away. Yet, sometimes, people may fail to see our worth. And while that can be painful, it is also an opportunity to turn inward, to honor ourselves, and to shine in ways that are independent of others' recognition. Today, we explored 5 simple but powerful tricks: giving yourself respect, living your purpose instead of seeking validation, using silence as strength, surrounding yourself with positivity, and letting go of what you cannot control. Each of these is a step toward reclaiming your energy, your joy, and your dignity. Real life stories show us that when we apply these practices, the world often responds in kind, not because we demanded it, but because we became the embodiment of self respect, purpose, and peace. Remember, friends, your value is inherent. It is not something that can be measured by someone else's attention or appreciation. It is woven into every smile you have shared, every lesson you have imparted, every act of kindness you have offered, and every challenge you have faced with courage. Life after 60 is too precious to spend proving your worth to anyone. Instead, focus on living fully, loving deeply, and walking with dignity. So today, I invite you to make a simple promise to yourself: honor your journey, embrace your light, and invest your energy in joy and purpose. Do this consistently, and you will notice something magical. People will begin to value you not because you demand it, but because your presence radiates something they cannot ignore. Let this chapter of your life be defined not by the neglect of others, but by the depth of your own fulfillment, the strength of your self respect, and the joy that arises when you live for yourself, for the things that truly matter. Friends, the world may or may not notice you, but what matters most is that you never stop valuing yourself. Stand tall, smile warmly, act with grace, and let your life after 60 be a testament to the incredible person you are: wise, resilient, and truly priceless. Thank you.